you ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Well, welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. You're listening to us on Broadway World or over here on the Broadway Podcast Network. And listen, I just met Paul backstage, and I have beef with Paul, but he doesn't know about it. See, I am a New Jersey gay of the same age as Paul. Now, Paul is from Secaucus, and I am from Fort Lee, New Jersey. So we're a county apart. But why does Paul get to be on the Out 100 list? And why does Paul get to be a childhood? Like, I was a kid watching him on TV being like, I could be Paul. And Paul's still booking gigs. And Paul's starring in TV shows. And Paul has great ideas like Elaine Stritch sings Elton John. And what am I doing? Paul took my spot as the elite New Jersey queer artist out here. And I'm going to fight him right here on the Roundtable. No, I'm so excited to share my Jersey brother here. Paul, welcome to the Roundtable. Thanks for being here.
What an introduction. Oh,
dare you? How dare you?
I know. I didn't know we had this kinship. Jersey roots, queer performers, a little bit of a diva. I'm getting this from your tone. I know we just met.
That's fair. Very fair.
Yeah. It takes one to know one.
If the Out 100 list was 101, I think I would have been there. I think that's what happened. Congratulations on everything and all the work. You've been working for like 142 years. You've been working since birth.
That's exactly right. 143 this June. And what a roller coaster. Ups and downs. You know, I've had my own TV series, and then, you know, I was living out of a trash can. And no, it never got that bad. But, you know, like Elaine, I've had, you know, one of these roller coaster life careers in showbiz. And not to put the cart before the horse, but I think so much of what I identify with Elaine and why this show is resonant to me, and I think with other people, is because, you know, we share a lot of that. And I think people are going to be excited to see it.
You have this show, everybody, which is Elaine Stritch singing. It's really Elaine Stritch singing Elton John?
So it's Paul Iacono sings Elaine Stritch, sings Elton John.
Ooh,
yeah,
this is the most exciting show idea. When I saw an email, when I got the press release from Dan Fortune over there at Green Room 42, I said, Dan, you need to get Paul on the show because I have so many questions. This is epic. You worked with Elaine Stritch.
I did. I worked with Elaine Stritch when I was 11. And wow, you've got all the images. And that was me, and that's me holding a glass of wine. Quick anecdote. I, like Elaine, I was preternaturally interested in alcohol long before I'd ever had a sip of it. And without even knowing Elaine's backstory with her drinking, I demanded in this moment at the age of 11 to hold a wine glass. I thought it was the height of sophistication. And that photo forever lives on. And she's just looking at me just with knowing eyes going, oh God, you know, seeing herself in me most likely. And I think we had a lot of that throughout our relationship.
So I know that I was reading in the press release that she had the idea to do a cabaret of singing Elton John music. So there is some truth in some history that she had the idea of doing Elton music. So how do you describe this show? You singing her, singing him?
So Elaine talked about doing a final cabaret show in her documentary, Elaine Stritch Shoot Me, which I have a cameo in. And we go into that story in the show. Basically, she wanted to do this cabaret of Elton John music, and she didn't get the chance to because she got sick and moved back to Michigan and then passed away shortly after. So my director, Ben Rimalower, are you familiar with Ben?
Yes, I mean he's the king of the Green Room 42, but he's also an incredible director, and I don't know what he does. He's with Housewives. He's with Broadway stars. I don't know what Ben does. He just does everything.
He does everything. Yes, he's the diva whisperer, you know, and the king of the green room and king of cabaret, in my opinion. And he texted me years ago, and maybe 3 years ago, and said, that Elaine Elton John Cabaret, that's a really great idea for you to explore. So I started putting together a set list immediately, and then I got busy with other projects, and it got put off, and Ben saw me in this show that I did this past December, a different show that I wrote and starred in, and I've got a couple of these right now. Not a cabaret show. It's my unauthorized Batman parody musical. You can have me back on in September when we're promoting it at Joe's Pub, when we're doing it there. But anyway, so he saw a presentation of this in December, and without patting myself on the back too hard, he basically said that I was in my cabaret era prime, and that it was definitely the time to explore this show and to honor Elaine. And we've done so masterfully, and we've crafted something that's so unique and that really captures the essence and the legacy and the spirit of Elaine. And in terms of the me singing her singing Elton, it's we're doing it in the style of Elaine. So sort of that old school New York, Cafe Carlyle nightclub cabaret act, a little jazzy, while still honoring the Elton John music. We're not Elton John fans will come and will rejoice at hearing these songs, perhaps in a new light. But so we honor the music, and we honor Stritch by performing them sort of the way that she would, without doing an impression. It's an homage. I'm playing myself for them, but the show is as much as it is a cabaret, it is also sort of a musical memoir or a play with music, and whatever term you want to use. And I play Elaine as well as several other characters in the show. So I do get to impersonate Elaine a lot. And that has been maybe the biggest surprising joy of the show, because I don't think we necessarily went into it. We found the show through the creative process, and once we realized that I had all of these incredible stories and anecdotes that I had never shared about her and I. Everyone sort of knows, or not everyone, but a lot of people know about when we worked together when I was 11 and I broke my wrist and she forced me to go on with the show. And it's sort of a show business legend at this point. But no one knows about all of the other times between 2002 and 2014 when she passed, that she and I were together or had these incredible experiences, some for the better and some for the worse. And we decided to really bring them to life. So I'm recreating these stories, these anecdotes, interwoven with the music of Elton John. I mean, if that doesn't sell you, I don't know what will.
I don't know what will, literally. I mean, that's you are telling her story and your story with her while singing Elton John at Green Room 42, where you can have a great little artisan pizza and hang out on the roof, because it's going to be May, after the show, and have a drink or a club soda. I don't know. If you're in the style of Elaine Stritch later years, just water. I don't.
Just to clarify on that, she was on the wagon for 23 to 27 years, depending on which interview you believe, and then she was off for towards the end. So
have a drink.
So am I allowed to drop an F-bomb?
Sure.
Have a fucking drink or two. It's that type of show.
Yeah, perfect. How did you pick the music? Like, I know it's Elton John, but like, is it Elton John we know? Like, are we gonna like Crocodile Rock? Like, what are we? They're the hits?
It's the hits. It's a lot of the hits, but then there's also some deep cuts. I mean, we approached it like, how would Elaine do this show? Which material would she choose, right? I'm gonna give you a couple of the not obvious, but some of I'll give you a couple of them. We're doing Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, I'm Still Standing, The Bitch Is Back, Your Song, Benny and the Jets, Someone Save My Life Tonight. I'm not going to give them all away. And then there's some deeper cuts that I'm saving because those are fun surprises that I think most of the audience will know. And if they don't, you learn a new Elton John song, and it fits the narrative, so that's important.
Do you know to me? I'm excited. I want people to go to greenroom42.com and got to get your tickets because they're almost all gone. And we're going to sell this baby out. Let's go. Let's get your tickets, everybody. And kudos to this team. You put together an all-star lineup, truly. If it's Drew, who is music directing, if it's Ben as the director, and then it's you and your music consultant, like you have the all-star cabaret. You took the A-list cabaret team is out here for this event. Paul, what's it like to work with Ben and Drew in particular to get this to come to life?
I'll be honest, I've worked on a few cabaret shows. This one is different. This one's special. As you said, we have a really special team. Ben and I have known each other since he saw me. I went to the Performing Arts High School in Manhattan. Like I was one of those Jersey kids who hopped on the bus and pretended like I lived in New York so that I could go to the Performing Arts. You know, the Board of Ed's going to come after me one of these days. Anyway, so
you're going to take your diploma now, Paul. That's it.
You're going to take my diploma. Oh, please. I barely have one to begin with. And coming from Jersey, sorry, my own jokes. I lost my track of thought because I smoke a lot of pot. Where were we coming from?
How was it to work with them? You've known Ben
Jesus
forever.
Christ. They're gonna hate that I forgot that I'm talking about them when I lost my train of thought. Ben and Drew are just so fantastic. Like I said, Ben saw me in a production at Performing Arts High School when I was 15. He was working with the director of the show on a professional production outside of the school, and he came on the night that Elaine Stritch and Christine Ebersole came to see the show because they were both friends of mine. So he had this real introduction to me and became a big a fan and a friend. And then as I got older, we became much closer friends. And he really is just the greatest director. And we've been friends for all these years. This is the first time that we worked together on a play several years ago, but this is the first time he's really directing me, and that we're tackling something seriously. And I can't, even though he's one of my friends, I still get so excited the fact that he's my collaborator on this, because he just approaches this material and knows these things, knows Elaine and knows the Broadway world and knows it all so inside and out. One of the greatest collaborators ever. And Drew Wutke is literally the man behind the music, the music maestro, the magic. I'm sorry if I have notifications coming in, and
you're booked, Paul. You're busy, Paul.
No, it's okay. I've been texting everyone in my phone book trying to sell out the show because we've got some press coming, so we want a full house, but we're almost there. But Drew Wutke is just fucking brilliant. He makes, with one piano, makes it sound like a carnival, like a true Elton John rock concert. So we actually have Drew and a drum player, percussions, to bring a little bit more of the rock vibe to it. But Drew helped me to find one of the most important moments in the show, as he did with my last one. It's been a real collaborative process, and that's what I love about it. Every rehearsal we show up and everyone has new ideas and everyone is prepared and everyone just dives into the work and just teeth first, sinking into it. We all love this material. We all love Elaine. We all love Elton, and we're really proud of this. I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn. It's a truly fantastic show, and we hope that it moves forward after this.
I'm sure it is. I think there's I was literally reading your bio before and Googling you and looking at your career, and you've worked with some crazy famous legends. I'm like, there's a theme, Paul, you could have a whole series every year. It could be I don't know, Mickey Rooney sings The Grateful Dead next year. I'm ready for Paul to just keep rolling the greats out here. It's so brilliant. It's brilliant.
I love that. I've definitely got a Lou Reed show in me, and the Velvet Underground. I've got a whole Warhol thing, a vibe. I don't know if you. Well, I'm in all black right now, but you can only see me from here up. So, just part of my 60s aesthetic.
Yeah, I love it. I'm excited.
Yeah.
What I love about your career is that you're somebody who, aside from the cabaret show, your start in television and then MTV television and talk show world as a kid and performing on TV with Rose. I mean, I grew up, we're like almost the same age, and the jerseyness of it all, and then doing the musical theaterness of it all. But then you become such an advocate in the world, especially for the queer community, and spoken out about that and made art for the queer community so much. So how much does the advocacy work in the world, especially these days, drive your art?
I think I put the advocacy into the art for the most part. You know, a lot of my stories, I can't think of one that isn't, are all, they might not be explicitly gay shows, but they are all queer, or they all have queer sensibilities or queer undertones, or, you know, I'm definitely into the idea of sort of accessible queer content. You know, I don't want to make things that are I want everyone to feel invited to the table. You know what I mean? So even though I'm doing this show about Elaine Stritch, who, you know, is predominantly known in the theater world as a Broadway legend and this and that, even though she had an illustrious film and television career, 30 Rock, Law and Order. Yeah, I just think that it's the right time to do this, and
It is.
very excited.
Well, you heard it. Paul says if you're what he was trying to say is if you're straight, you can come. Only if you're a fun straight. If you're straight, they'll save 10% of the seats for the straights, because there's nothing more fun and gay than Elaine Stritch and Elton John.
Yes. And don't get me wrong, the theater queens will be rolling in the seats because there's plenty of, like, you know, Ben Rimalower directed. There's plenty of all of the juicy Broadway, you know, the dirt and the dish that we all love.
Yes.
But at the same time, I know, you know, the thing underneath the thing, as Elaine would say, or as George Wolfe would say in talking about Elaine Stritch at Liberty, is she, you know, it's her unyielding resilience, her staunch survivalism, that's so universal. I think that's part of what actually does make it appeal to a broader audience. You know, and I think that, you know, when you watch Elaine, you're just drawn to this indomitable spirit and this force of nature who is brash and brilliant and infuriating and one of a kind. And I really think that she actually transcends just queer stereotypes or whatnot. But if you're a big old gay, you're gonna love this fucking show. And if you're not, you're still gonna love it. Yeah,
I agree. I love your career, and I love what you stand for. You make Secaucus, New Jersey, and Hudson County proud. And I'm excited for what's next. I know that can you give us a scoop? What is this Batman musical thing you've been working on?
Yeah. So, are you familiar with Mark Kudich, Broadway legend?
He's been here. Yes.
He's been here?
Sure.
He's been on your show? Love that. I love. So Mark and I began collaborating on this unauthorized Batman parody musical about a year ago. It went from like this little one-act thing. I mean, we talk about starting at the top. You know, our first reading presentation of it, a staged reading presentation of it was with Mark as the Joker, Allison Frazier as Poison Ivy, Brooks Ashmanskas as Penguin, and Howard McGillen as Two-Face. Oh, and Jim Walton as Batman, you know, just casually. So we were going for a bit of an older Batman rogues sort of thing. And the success of that first one act catapulted it into, now it's a full 2-act musical. We presented the second half in December. It's even stronger than the first half. Now we're reworking the first half, and we're going to present the full thing for the first time, the full premiere of it at Joe's Pub this September, and most of that all-star cast will be returning. Yeah.
Oh, when tickets go up, we can follow you. We could stay up to date with you on Instagram.
Yes, my handle is I was about to say easy to remember, but it's more funny to remember. It's psychedelic hedonism. Oh, there you go.
Psychedelic hedonism.
Hedonism. It was an inside joke from about 15 years ago, and if I change it now, people will go, "Who's the real Paul Iacono 88?" You know what I mean? They're gonna, and also that sucks. So I'm psychedelic hedonism, and that's just who I am.
That's it. He's saying that's what he's saying. Psychedelic hedonism. Which, if you're going to be in hedonism, that's whatever.
You
There's a joke there. I've flushed it out. I'll get you in September when you come back with Mark. That's what
deal. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
We're going to follow you. We're going to buy our tickets, everybody. If you're in New York City this coming weekend, you got to go to thegreenroom42.com. Make sure you get your tickets. It's going to be, I like Green Room. Shout out to Sheldon over there on lights and sound. Shout out to everybody that works over there.
Sheridan.
Sheldon.
Yes.
Sheridan.
Who's the best?
Best.
Yeah.
I'm going to make your lights look like psychedelic hedonism because he has them bouncing through that room. Everybody needs to go grab a drink and have a good old time and night out. And from your career, from this to this, to this, to this, and all the things to come, we're here for it. We are so excited to have you here, and we are so ready for whatever you got up your sleeve.
Thank you. Just the last thing I'll say, I was out of the spotlight for a few years ago, and I've been back in action for about 2 years now, and I've been very fortunate to have a number of projects that are all sort of taking off, like the Batman one and this Warhol play that I have as well, and this show, and it really feels incredible to be back, to be back in the saddle and to be at the top of my game. Like I said, Elaine, went through the highs and the lows. I've experienced those as well, and I think she would be very proud of where I am and what we're doing and how we're honoring her legacy.
I know that for a fact, and I know that just through the pictures and the stories that how much your adventures together probably mean to her, and she's going to be there with you this weekend at laughing her ass off with what you're doing for her for sure. Yeah. Oh, your pleasure.
Oh, thank you. I was going to make a joke. I was going to say she'll be looking up and she'll be raising a martini. No, I'm kidding. Looking down, of course.
Looking down from the Broadway Evans, 100%. Well, I'm excited. And get your tickets, everybody. And Paul, come back anytime. Don't be a stranger. Come hang out with us.
Thank you.
I'll see you at the Sea Caucus train station sometime soon.
Yes.
If you ever go back home.
Well, that's another story. If you can make it to the show, let us know and we'll hook you up.
I'll talk. Deal. Everybody,
yes.
Make sure get your tickets and we'll see you there.
But
Thank you so much.
Everyone else buy your tickets. Yeah.